with the scarab skin. Chloe, so I'm going to go over all the skills. So the first one is web snare. Basically, it's very similar to vortex, and what it does is it will splash a acid dot, so it does do damage. I think this is probably the best skill for farming food right now. It's very, very good and efficient, and it also slows down creatures and wildlife, but more importantly on hunters, it reduces their jetpack efficiency by about 50%. So if you can imagine when you're out of jetpack and you're trying to face climb a rock, that's kind of what you get when you get snared. It's pretty good. I'll explain the difficulty in just a moment. Actually, let me go back to that. So those were the monsters. I'll go over the hunters, so remind me when you get that. So web snare, I already went over that. It's basically vortex that has a dot and a snare effect attached to it. And if it's on the hunters, the jetpack is really, really harmful. Spider trap. I love spider trap. So what you do is you throw a spider on the ground, and they can't see it. If you do notice that the monster, I was able to ping it as a hunter because I knew where the monster was throwing it. But if you don't know where it is, you don't see anything. So it's an invisible trap, and what happens is that once somebody comes near it, a spider will grapple somebody if it's not destroyed, and it'll take them off and start eating them. And it's really good about basically trying to split up the team, because that thing is really good about cutting off the reinforcements for the team. I really like this. Plus, if you put it on a dead body or a down body, as you saw in one of our earlier games, Laz goes up to try and pick it up, and then he gets taken off by a spider and gets hauled off out of nowhere. Really fun stuff. I like this. This is probably my favorite ability of his. Then there's acid spray. It's basically you spray acid. It can coat walls, ceilings, and floors. Basically, it's got kind of like a burning fire damage to it, kind of similar to lava bomb. But you can paint it anywhere, which is really cool. It's actually got a decent distance if you aim really, really high. But the nice thing is if somebody's like pillar humping, running around in pillars, you can spray around the pillar itself, or if they're trying to face climb something really slow, you can spray the wall, and they'll just be taking acid damage all the way up. So it's really good about stacking dots, and the damage from this can stack with this. It's really important.
Am I messing with you?
Not really. They hear other people in the background, but not really.
No, I can't think, dude. I'm not used to having all this sound around.
Yeah, same here.
That's fine. You can do what you do, bro.
That's Stealth Shampoo in the background. Big shout out to him.
Right over there.
I'm a cow. It's okay. So yes, I will post it on my YouTube when I get home. I get home sometime tomorrow night. It probably won't be up until Saturday because I have to edit all the footage and everything like that. I'll probably truncate some things around too. So Acid Spit's another good ability. I like it. And then there's Mimic. Basically, Mimic is you create a husk of yourself. It's basically like the skin, and then you can control it kind of like an RC controller. So it's kind of like the UAV for Bucket. Your body is stationary, and you can kind of remote this thing around. It's actually got a health bar that diminishes over time and if being shot. And then if you press the button, you can actually detonate it, and it does a lot of explosive damage. It's probably her highest damage deal up front, but it's really hard to worry about trying to get them. Chris Ashton was telling me about how he likes to use it as he'll drop down a cliff, and then when the hunters are right behind him, he'll do Mimic. Mimic will climb up the wall and just spray them full of acid when they're about to fall down. And that's her abilities. So I really like Web Snare. I think Web Snare is a really, really good farming ability, and I actually like putting these 3 points in. I'm not a big fan of Mimic right now just because I haven't really had too much time. Like I said, I played 3 games with her, 2 hunt and 1 arena before going live. So it's a little bit difficult to explain. But I like cooldown reduction because she stacks dots a lot, and so the more you can do that, the better off you're better.
I got all the info for you guys. Can we get a little bit?
Yes, that's exactly how I feel about Tool. I definitely challenge or punishes roaching, pillar humping, all that kind of good stuff. So I'll go ahead